converted into this: fat. For women, fat tends to go to their hips. It's the body's way of providing a steady energy supply for pregnancy. Men store fat in a different area: their bellies. Belly fat evolved for quick energy release. It helped sustain our male ancestors during hunting trips. Our ability to metabolize fat slows down as we age. Inside each cell in our bodies, there are tiny structures called mitochondria. These are the body's power plants. They combine nutrients from food with oxygen from the lungs to release energy. As we get older, the number of mitochondria dwindles, and we lose the ability to metabolize fat as efficiently. Too many calories and a drop in metabolic rate can be a lethal combination. Fat is much more than an extra inch on our waistline. It spreads throughout the entire body. For the first time, a high-definition endoscope, inserted through the navel, reveals the full extent of fat cover inside the abdomen. The intestines are smothered in yellow fat deposits. Fat finds its way into almost every available space of our bodies, even inside our blood vessels. Deposits build up on the inner walls, narrowing the tube. The heart has to work harder to pump blood through the restricted vessels. In extreme cases, fat can block the vessels completely. If fat blocks the arteries that supply the heart, the result can be fatal. The heart muscles are deprived of oxygen and nutrients. The muscle risks going into spasm, a heart attack. Heart disease is the biggest killer in the Western world.
Hello everyone. Good evening and welcome to our Friday mission meeting again. If you guys can hear me, can you please type triple one in the chat box so that I know that you guys are hearing me loud and clear? Yes, fantastic. Hello, everyone. Welcome once again. I see that's lots of participants for tonight. Numbers are increasing. Just now, I think 5 minutes ago, it was just about 40 to 50 participants. And currently, we have around 76 participants. Hopefully, we have more participants coming to join us for our great sharing for this Friday evening. I'm Dr. Douglas, and I'll be your host for tonight. Thank you once again for your time during these pandemic, hard, difficult times. You guys still basically managed to spare some time to come and understand and to come and know and learn more about what's going to happen next. And I'm very excited to share with you guys our guest speaker for today. I think today's topic is very relatable with our daily lives, our daily activity. Either it is during the pandemic or not, I think it is rather important for us to know how to cope with weight management, and not just weight management per se. I would say it's also about health, it's also about well-being, and it's also about what are the great supplements that we can offer during this time to benefit us to curb this pandemic. Yeah. Before I begin again, let me introduce our distinguished guest speaker today, no other than Jason Yeo. Jason Yeo graduated as a nutritionist from University Putra Malaysia in 2008 and has more than 10 years of experience working with clients on personalized nutrition. His experience and vast knowledge give him the ability to provide practical advice to tailor diet plan, strategic use of the right supplements, and inspire his clients to achieve their health goals in an empowering yet fulfilling way. He specializes in weight management, nutritional management of non-communicable diseases, nutrition during pre-conception, pregnancy, and also postpartum care. Wow. As you can see, our speaker today is one of the most qualified person to come and share, to come and let us know more about nutrition, how to cope with weight, and all sorts of other examples and situations. So please, dear participants and guys, make sure that you guys are jotting down, the important notes, your key notes inside, screenshot whatever you can. We picked up Jason's brain so that we can get the most out of it. Without further ado, I'll pass the floor to Jason. Please welcome Jason. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Douglas. Thank you so much for the great introduction. I feel I'm flattered. Okay, hi. I'm Jason. I'm a nutritionist by profession. Thank you so much for giving me this platform to share with you a little bit of my knowledge about nutrition, about well-being and weight management. Before I begin, I would just like to extend my deepest gratitude to my upline, Emerald Dr. Tay, for bringing me to such a wonderful environment, learning from all the great leaders, Diamond Nanda, Diamond Chinese, and all the platinums. We have a team of very great leaders, exemplary, and I would say that I can't thank them enough for giving me this opportunity to be here. Right. So I would like to share my screen. Okay. Give me a moment. Okay. So without further ado, just would like to begin by saying that I think weight management is I would say a hot topic other than COVID. I think COVID now is number one, and probably number two or number three is weight management. Because everybody is like stay at home, and then you got nothing better to do. What else you do? You eat, and then your weight fluctuate in a way that you don't really want it to be, and then you're starting to panic. So fret not. The good news is that I'm here to give you some tips and also to give you the right concept on how you can actually better manage your and take control of your weight. Yeah. So that's a little bit about myself. I'm a nutritionist by profession. I graduated from University Putra Malaysia. To date, I think I've accumulated more than 10 years of experience. And I'm honored to be able to share with you more about a little bit about my knowledge. Yeah. So what I'm going to share tonight, I have about 45 minutes each to talk about a few things. which I think is essential for you if you want to begin on a weight loss journey, on a weight management journey. I would say it's important to get the key concept right. Okay, and also I'm going to share with you a little bit of a tips on how you can actually put them into practice. Yeah. So, but before I begin, I think what's more important is that to understand how our body works and how weight management can be manageable. All right. So, and one more thing, I think just now the videos that if you watch the video before we begin the talk tonight, that's a very good video. I would say if let's say if you like to rewatch it, that would be great because the whole video in the short 5-10 minutes, they're giving you a deep overview of how our body works, how our body store fat, utilize fuel and everything. So with that kind of understanding, it will strengthen your confidence and having the know-how to be able to proceed forward. Yeah. So I think one of the key reasons why weight management is why I cannot see. Okay, sorry. I think okay. So what I'm trying to say from this slide is that weight management is a big issue in Malaysia. Yeah. I think this is a study done in Malaysia, the National Health and Mobility Survey in 2019. 2020, of course, nobody is doing anything because of the pandemic. And the not so great news is that I just got news from the Prime Minister's office saying that it's a total lockdown. Okay, 1st June onwards. Right. So I think what is important here is to note that actually in Malaysia, as high as 50%, 50.1% of our population is either overweight or obese, right? So 30%, 30.4% overweight and 19% obese. So this is very, very high. And I would say it's almost comparable to US already. US is the highest in the world. And then we are not that bad. Yeah, we're not that bad in not a great way lah. So and one of the contributing factors known is if you can see from this infographic is that food, yummy. So food is the contribute, of course lah, because that's your input, right? But the other thing is that probably I think for Malaysian we are a bit too lazy to do our exercise bits. So the physical activity part is also not so high, on the low side. And then just to give you an example, like whenever we go shopping, we try to find the nearest parking to the entrance, right? So that's how we roll. So unfortunately, that also put the wrong spotlight on us, which is now we're having a big issue. Okay, so today this is a bit of a messy slide, I would say. Why I put this slide up is because I think in terms of weight management, there's a few approach. Okay, actually there's as many as 5 different approaches depending on the goal that you are trying to achieve. Okay, so what I'm putting up here is basically just to give you a little bit of a profile. For example, this person is 36, this man is 36 years old with a weight of 55 kilo and with a height of 1.6 ratio. That's me lah. Okay. And then in terms of the activity wise, sedentary, I would say most of the time sitting down doing office work, but I do some exercise, moderate 1 to 3 hours per week kind of thing. So when we calculated in terms of the total energy expenditure or total daily energy and expenditure, it's about 2002 calories per day. Okay, that's the energy amount of energy that I need for my body. Okay, so if today I want to move forward, so I need to be very clear about what I want to achieve. Okay, so you need to have an end goal first before you can begin. Okay, for any weight management program, it's very important to know your end goal. So what is your end goal? You want to be a platinum? You want to be a diamond, right? So in weight management, it's about whether you want to do a weight loss, meaning to say you want to cut the kilos, or you want to do a body recomposition. So what is body recomposition? Body recomposition is more on looking into the body fat percentage, your muscle mass, and recompose, stick the figures. So probably to bring down the body fat percentage and to bring up the muscle mass, okay? Or you want to do bulking or build muscle, or you are an athlete that who require a high performance. So or you are just not so much into anything, you just want to be healthy, learn one more trade. Okay, so depending on your goal, actually the approach is also different. Okay, is the approach also different in terms of the total calorie intake. So basically what you see here is that if let's say you want to achieve weight loss, normally we are looking at a deficit. Okay, I will explain more later on this, how why this is important, because all about energy balance, right? So if let's say you are trying to do body recomposition, it's not necessary you must be on a deficit or a low calorie intake, lower than what you require. It could be just a 10% deficit or even maintenance. Okay. And if you want to do bulking, of course, you need to have either maintenance minimum, which is 2002 calorie, or a surplus to begin with. Otherwise, it's hard for you to bulk. Or if you are an athlete with requiring performance, then it also will be, normally you'll be in the surplus, because for athletes, normally the amount of protein is very important. So when you bulk up the protein load, normally the calorie will go up as well. Or you just want to maintain health, or improve your overall health, basically you just maintain your calorie intake. So depending on how you, what is your end goal, it will determine on how a nutritionist or a professional will actually coach you or develop a plan for you. So just to give you a continue from this table, you can see here is like with a varying goal, the calorie intake is also different. The protein intake is also different. So you can actually take this table as a reference. If let's say you have a client, you talk to them, or you yourself, you wanted to do something about your weight, but you don't know where to begin, this is a good reference, because normally this is what we see. Okay. What we do is that the end goal is whether you want to achieve weight loss, or you want to bulk, or you want to do a recomposition. Okay. So and by doing so, what is the expected outcome would be whether it's a definite loss or it's a gain. Okay, so for normally for loss is about 0.5 to 2 kilo per month. So that's the normal healthy range of weight loss lah. Okay, so this is just a guidance for you to have an understanding of where you want to go from here. So the first thing to do is to define your goal, what you want to do, and then we can move from there. Okay, then I would like to move on to a little bit of more of a conceptual thing to strengthen your knowledge about weight management. So the first thing is that you have to understand what is our body made up of, right? So when you step on the scale, you see a number there, say 50 kilo or 60 kilo or 100 kilo, what it means. Basically, it's a cumulative weight of your bone, your body fat, your muscle, and your internal organs, right? So this all adds up to your weight. And then on top of that, right, what you see is that when you want to do a weight loss or do a body recomposition or whatever it is, there's a few things that don't really change, which is one of the bone mass don't really change. But of course, as you age, your bone mass will decrease. Okay, that will be like a natural degradation lah. But then for your body fat percentage and your muscle mass, normally it will be the what we call the modifiable one, modifiable one. So this is the two main thing of your body composition that we are trying to change. So if you are achieving weight loss, basically you are achieving it through a few ways. One is either your body fat drop and your muscle mass drop, and your overall weight will come down. So, or you can actually burn the fat away and try to retain as much muscle as you can. And that is also one way to do weight management or weight loss. Yeah. So depends on what kind of approach. But today, I think I will go a bit deeper on body recomposition, which I felt like is a better way of doing it. It can be a combination of weight loss plus body recomposition, because not only we want to achieve weight loss, we also want to make it sustainable. And body recomposition is one of the approach that can actually make weight management sustainable. Okay, right. So when we talk about body recomposition, what we are trying to say is that we are trying to achieve an increase or a maintenance of your current muscle mass, and then a reduction of your body fat simultaneously. So what you, as an outcome, what you gain is that basically your weight is no longer that, the figure is no longer that critical, but what's more critical is to look at your body composition. Okay, and we have a very great product with us, which is the in-body dial, which will tell you exactly what is your body composition, and that's a very good, I would say, self-check that everybody, if you can afford, you should have that scale with you so that you can actually do a weekly or monthly monitoring kind of thing. So the other thing is that when we do that, by reducing your body fat percentage and increasing or maintaining your muscle mass, you will eventually gain a better body shape as well. So the best part is that it's less likely to rebound. So that's what we want to do, because a lot of time we go into weight management. It's like always a yo-yo for many people. You gain and you lose, you gain, you lose, like up and down until you get very fed up with it, right? So by doing it through the recomposition approach, chances of rebound is lesser or very unlikely, unless you are eating it in a totally wrong way and then you mess it up. Of course, you will still rebound lah. Okay. So I'm not going to go through this because in the interest of time. But I think what's important is that, as I said just now, I already set the tone for you. There's a few approach there. You have to define like what you want to achieve at the end of the day. So a realistic approach would be to, for example, you want to achieve weight loss. You need to define in such a way that a very realistic goal will be like a deficit of 1 to 2 kilos per month. That's a very realistic one. And then if let's say you are trying to do body recomposition, so you need to give your body time, all right? And probably you are looking at a duration of 3 to 6 months. So there's a few things when you are defining your weight management. So one is the amount you want to shed or your body composition you want to achieve. And the other thing is the amount of time. So normally don't look at 1 month. 1 month, of course you can, but then go for the longer term, 3 months, 6 months. And by doing so, you are actually in calculating a healthier habit as well. Okay, so just to give you a few quick testimonial, I think these are all very good examples. This is my outline emerald, Dr. Tay. If you can look at what happened to him, is that basically he's like toner, nice line there, here and there. Look at the six packs coming up, and how he actually achieved it. If you look at the approach, is that before he even go into bulking, his calorie is somewhere around 1,008. So when he is going to go into bulking, what happened is that he actually eats more. He has the luxury to eat more. At the same time, by increasing the muscle mass, that also trigger the fat burning effect. So you see, like he's actually become toner. Okay, toner, and then in terms of weight, I think he didn't put on much as well. So this is how you can actually do it. Another good example, our platinum, our founder's platinum, Wei Xiang, you can see like his weight actually didn't change much, 74 kilo to 74 kilo. But what happened is that if you look at the body composition, the body fat percentage and the muscle mass actually change. So the muscle actually builds up at about plus 5 kilo, and then the body fat percentage dropped from 25 to 13%. Look at the difference in terms of the overall visual impression of the body shape. So that's a big change. So this is how we are actually teaching you to gain. You can actually do it this way. This is another platinum our center. She's been, all right. So you can see like she used to be a bit, I would say, chubby. Then now you look at it and see that she's so much more toner, right? And on top of that, the beauty is that she also gets the luxury to eat more. Okay, which is so great, right? So these are other examples that I would like to share with you. Tummy fats, if you have this problem, that's also easily can be resolved, okay, with the right approach to your diet. So why body recomposition? Why we are looking specifically at your fat mass and your muscle mass? And simply because if you look at this image, that tells you 1,000 words already. I don't have to explain, right? Okay, by looking at 2 kilo of fat, that's the amount of space that is taken up. But you're looking at 2 kilo of muscle. Muscle is very lean, compact, and you can see like it's not taking up much space. And that's explained why the previous testimonial that you saw just now, all the difference in shapes and all that, why they are so much more tone and everything, is simply because by just burning off the fat and just building up the muscle. And the great part is that by having more muscle, so it helps with your fat burning, right? So this is another image that to tell you that by having more muscle alone, you will improve your overall metabolism. So meaning to say that your body tends to burn more energy, and this is why create the luxury for you to eat more, right? So as compared to somebody who is a bit more on the I would say, fat side in terms of higher body fat percentage. Probably with that, normally it will be lesser in muscle mass as well. And that's why when you have fat, it tends to conserve, tend to store, because fat itself is actually a storage system in our body. So it's meant to be minimizing the utilization of energy. As compared to muscle, it's totally different. The opposite, I would say. Muscle is a active fat energy burning system in your body, so it will actually help you to burn. So you see, like these two person, if they are sleeping, not doing anything, that person who is leaner, more muscle, he will burn more eventually, right? So this is just to give you an visual impression of why body fat percentage does matter in terms of the overall shape. If you look at these two pictures, one for the male, one for the female, by the percentage here is actually the percentage of body fat, right? So you can see for men, normally it's about 10 to 20% is the normal range. We say the healthy range lah. Okay, by just you see a reduction of 1 to 3% between 13 to 15 and 16 to 19, you see so much of a difference already. So this is way more toner, and this is probably a bit more chubby. But for the ladies, normally the healthy range is somewhere around 20 to 30%, 20 to 30%. So it's like 20 to 30% here. So if you are very lean, which is like below 17%, this is how you'll be looking at, right? And then for this, anything below 7% is normally quite like a bodybuilder and kind of very lean individual. But most of the time, I think most individual will be somewhere around 10 to 20%. So if for men you are more than 20%, wake up, time to do something about your weight, right? Okay. So that's it, right? So eventually, I think your ultimate aim is that when you are setting your goal for your weight management, it's very important that you need to have a clear understanding that what you're trying to achieve, right? One of the few things that you can actually set is that one is you want to have a overall improvement in your body shape. You want to be able to maintain within a healthy range, and also to have a better body composition, meaning to say more muscle mass, lesser of a body fat percentage. And all these will actually eventually lead to a sustainable and healthier lifestyle for you as well. Okay, so this is also for disease prevention, which is so important now. On top of we as number one in Southeast Asia for overweight and obesity, we are also not far behind for NCDs. So which is the non-communicable diseases like diabetes, hypertension, and whatnot. So yeah. And this is another good illustration to tell you that how body composition matters. If you can see from this picture, one with lesser of a muscle mass and one with more of a muscle mass, this is how different they look. And yeah. So yeah. So the key concept in effective weight management, I think this is to strengthen your knowledge. This is meant to do that. The first thing is that don't just focus on the scale, right? Don't just focus on the number. That's more of a reference. And this is what I'm trying to tell you, like Dr. Tay, 79 kilo, and then he go on this approach, try to bulk up, and then he lose some weight, and then he redo the toning part, and then this is how he looks now, 76 kilos. So you see the weight actually didn't differ much from where he begins, but look at the difference in the body shape and all. So this is what happened. But if today you are already overweight or obese, then you should aim to reduce the number first lah. Okay, so then your first objective will be weight loss. Then only you look at body recomposition. Okay, right. So the second thing is that for whatever it is, the one thing that you cannot go wrong is that in weight management is that you need to understand the energy balance between your input and your output. Input means whatever you put into your mouth, okay, your food intake. That's the only way you can put energy into your system. Your output basically has got a few components. One is your physical activity, okay, your resting metabolic rate, meaning to say that you're not doing anything, your body will still burn some energy. So which is like the majority of it, which is like 60%, 50 to 60% are the resting metabolic rate. Okay, and then physical activity will contribute probably something like 15 to 20%. And then there's another thing is that when you're eating food in, your body will digest the food. So that will also trigger some energy burn loss as well, which is what we call the thermic effect of food. So this is normally the three. Actually, there's one more component, but this is the main three components here that will define your output. So you can, as you can see, your resting metabolic rate, you can't really do much until you have the you do the body recomposition, so you will remain more or less there. But what can be changed is the physical activity, which is the exercise bit. So exercise, this is why exercise plays an important role in contributing to your output. And the other thing is that your input here, okay, if today you are eating about the same as what your body needs, basically your weight will not change though. So, but today if you're eating more, you'll put on weight over time. If you are eating less, you will experience weight loss. That's what happened to our body. Everybody is the same. No shortcut, no other hidden tricks. So whoever is trying to sell you the magic pill, I'm sorry to say that they are trying to not the right thing. Okay. Okay. So concept number 3 is that you have to understand that for every 1 kilo gain in your weight, normally that is almost equivalent to 7,700 calories. Okay, but if you want to achieve like 1 kilo weight loss in a month, what we can do is that we can actually break it down for you. We will try to help you. You can actually aim for a reduction. Say you calculated today, you know that your total energy expenditure is somewhere around 2,000 calories. You want to achieve weight loss, normally we recommend you to have a deficit of 300 to 500 calories. Okay, and how do you track your food intake and all that? I think one of the best thing about Nutrilite Body Key is that we have this little thing, we call it the in-body watch. This with the apps and everything, it will help you to track. So you can actually put it into the system. I will not go into detail about that, but if you are curious about it, you can ask your friend who actually brought you to this environment. They will be able to give you insight about what that app can do, because we need a tracker sometimes. Otherwise, sometimes we will just go way overboard without us knowing. So if today you're serious about weight management and all, you want to do something about it, one of the approach is that you can actually use the apps, okay, the Body Key apps, track your calorie intake. So then you can keep yourself in check as well. Okay. So you build the knowledge, you build the understanding also. At the same time, you have the awareness, which is so important. Okay. And I wouldn't recommend for like extremely low in calorie intake because that's not sustainable, and it's also, it may not be good because of we are, whenever we are eating, we are not only taking in the calorie, we are also consuming the essential nutrients that our body needs. So if you are eating too low in calorie, basically chances of you experiencing deficiency is very, very high, which is why we don't really recommend that. Okay, so let's take a quick guess. You can put it in the chat. Okay, this is just a little bit of interaction. Okay, if today you decided that you want to go on a diet, okay, but then you don't think exercise is something for you, no, I'm sorry, I'm just going to do on the diet. And that's person 1. And if today you have another person who is thinking like, I cannot stop eating, every nasi lemak is my favorite. Okay, be it from Tanglin or be it from Village Park, but then I can sacrifice a little bit. I do more exercise, lor. Okay, so between person 1 and 2, who do you think will actually see a better result or some results? I would say 1, 2. So it's like 50-50. Okay, 1. Right. So basically, the first person will actually see some results. Okay, because I think what's the matter is that basically whatever you do, your food intake is very important. Your diet plan is very important, and this is something that you should be seriously looking at. Okay, if let's say you're serious about weight management, the diet part is very, very important. Okay, so the other thing that I would like to highlight is that if you are talking about calorie, don't just look at the calorie alone, because calorie only tells you so much. Just like your weight, okay, you look at your weight number, it's just a number, but doesn't tell you much. Okay, but today what's more important is the composition, right? Same goes to your food intake. Today, if you are looking at weight management or effective weight management or weight loss, I would say that the calorie composition, okay, of the macronutrients, which is the protein, carbohydrates, and fat, is very, very important. So you need to be able to also look into it in more detail. What is the breakdown? Okay, whether your diet is high in carbohydrates or is high in protein or high in fat. Okay, because out there's so many different approach. Many people are recommending you different kind of fat diet, I would say. So the point is that if let's say today you are on a weight loss diet, then one thing very critical that I want to point out here is that when you're doing a weight loss, it's very important to make sure you meet your protein requirement, just like what I presented in the table just now. Why is it so? It's because that when you are doing a weight loss program and you are not eating enough protein, what happens is that you are also experiencing muscle loss very quickly. Okay, so the muscle loss will be faster than your fat loss. Okay, and eventually, of course, you will see a reduction from the overall weight, but then what you're actually losing is the muscle, not so much of the fat, which is the bad news for you lah. And this is what explains a lot of rebound. Okay, after you stop, you go back to normal diet, then you experience a rebound because you actually, when you're losing weight, you're losing the muscle. It's not really your body fat, and fat is tend to be conserved in that way. And this is why when you are eating your diet, it's very important to also look into the composition of your macros, which is the protein, carbohydrates, and fat, and try to also maximize your protein. Fat, of course, most of the time you don't really need to do much. It will be somewhere around 20 to 30%. But what you can do more is, sorry about the pie chart. I think there's a wrong in the percentage for fat. It's 30%. So what you can do more is that you bulk up your protein intake. Okay, you increase your protein intake and limit your carbohydrates. And one more thing I would like to point from this slide is that don't ever go for extremely low carb or no carbs diet. That's not sustainable. Our body, we will still need some amount of carbohydrates to function properly. That will give us the instant fuel and energy. And the sugar also keep us happy a bit lah. So don't go for the extreme. We still need our carbs there. Right. So the other thing is about metabolic damage. This is one interesting topic that I would like to also go further in terms of just to give you an illustration. Okay. When today you have decided you want to go on the diet, then you go on extremely low calorie, happy about it, skip your meals, skip your breakfast, skip your lunch, probably you only eat dinner, and over time, because your calorie, remember the first few concept about energy balance, you will see results. Okay, you'll see results. But what happens is that as you do your dieting in the wrong way, or start with the wrong food, what happens is that, as I said, you are experiencing muscle loss as well. And muscle is one of the very important systems that will help you to increase your metabolic rate or to help you to burn more energy. Losing them means that your body actually burn less, right? So what happens is that when you are on this extreme diet for probably a couple of months or so, you see results, you're happy, you go on your wedding gown or you go on your suit, and then after that, forget all about it and eat back to your normal eating, which is high fat, high carbs, and things like that. What happens is that because you lost those extra muscles that is meant to help you to burn, and chances of you experiencing a rebound is very, very high. And probably you will see this time round, you will experience, I would say, like double rebound. You manage to shed 2, but then again 4 kind of thing. And then you become very stressed, and then you go on this dieting regime again. And then what happens is that because you lost those muscle, chances of you seeing result this time around will not be great. Okay, it will not be great. And then you might end up become very frustrated and they start to give up. And then this is what happened to many. Then they start just, I don't give a F anymore. I just eat whatever I want to eat. And then after a few years, there you go, boom, overweight and obese. So that's what happened to many of us. Okay, that's what happened to many of us. And bear in mind, remember when you're doing a weight loss, when you're doing your body recomposition, it's always very important to look at your macros, to bulk out your protein intake so that you do not lose those muscles that you need so badly to help you to burn more. Okay, so that's the takeaway from this few slides. Right, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip here, but before I begin, just to give you a kind reminder by saying that if today you decided to go on a fat diet or somebody recommend you some extreme diet, just bear in mind that look at a few things. It's often the case that many of these dieting plans would be quite limited in terms of variety. So they probably will ask you to eat certain type of food or certain food only. And then sometimes it's going on a very extremely low calorie, which is not sustainable. And a lot of times, what we are more concerned is the nutrient balance, whether they have adequate nutrients to keep you healthy. So, and then when you're going on extremely low calories, chances of you feeling hungry, starvation all the time, right? So, which is not great at all, right? So these are the things about fat diets out there. So you have to be very careful. I'm going to skip this slide because this is just to reinstate the point that I've just raised. This is one of the weight loss plan that is on the internet out there, asking you to eat like extremely low, like 500 calories a day, eating only vegetables and a few eggs, and which is like I would say like probably for my pet. I'm not sure. Okay, so the nutrient that is important for our body to function normally, there are about 7 of them, which is the 3 macros will be the macronutrients will be the carbohydrates, protein, and fat. And then your vitamins and minerals, don't forget about them, and you can get them essentially from your vegetables and your fruits, and also your fiber, also from your fruits and vegetables, and also water. Okay, water is also equally important, right? So what I would like to say from here is that whenever you're eating, there's a few things that you need to learn well. So one is that you have to understand the food type. You have to learn some tricks about understanding calorie counting. Calorie counting, I think the body key apps will help you to solidify or enhance your database about it. So I won't have the opportunity to talk more about the apps, but probably in the next round, if given a choice, I will be talking about the apps more about it, because that's very interesting, because you will be able to track, and then you will realize, oh, no wonder the roti canai is like so fattening. Okay. So, and then you will know how much to eat, right? So in terms of the food type, the one takeaway from here is that you need to understand that in terms of the macro, the 3 main nutrients, which is the carbohydrate and protein and fat, go for the one on the left side, which is the green one. If you're eating your carbohydrates, go for whole grain, go for your starch vegetables, go for your leafy greens, go for your fruits and everything, and try to minimize highly processed stuff. If anything you see in a packet, normally is like highly processed, I would say. In general, over the supermarket store and everything. And then white rice, white bread, all these are highly refined. So these are highly refined carbohydrates, which is not so great lah. Okay. No problem with high carbs, but the thing is that if you know how to choose, you will not be eating that much as well. So okay, if you go for brown rice and all, it will not be that difficult. So for protein wise, I would say that go for whole food, go for egg, tofu, chicken, fish, highly processed stuff like patty, bacon, sausages, ham, and all that. Try to cut those. Fats, I would say that most fat will be okay, but these are the good sources: avocado, olive oil, nuts, butter, and all these are great ones. Like highly processed crackers, French fries, these are not so great. Okay. Right. So if you're eating, try to use the healthy plate approach. This is highly recommended by the Ministry of Health. I would also endorse it. I would say that this is one of the good approach. Half the plate should be vegetables, a quarter will be your protein, and a quarter will be your carbohydrates. This is how also you can limit your carbohydrate intake. Okay. Right. So by having more vegetables, that will actually increase your fullness as well. So you will not eat that much eventually. Right. So this is where I come from there. So the sequence of eating, you can actually try this way one time and see how it turned out for you. Eat your vegetable first, and then followed by your protein. By the time I think you're done with these two, if let's say you're following the healthy plate approach, you have very little room for carbs. Very, very little room for carbs. You're almost full already. So your carbs will be just probably a few spoonful, that's it. So that's one thing great. And most of the time, vegetables are very low in calories, so no worries. You can eat as much as you can. Normally, half the plate will be a great portion already. And also, if you're eating high protein, protein will keep you full for a longer period, because the digestion for protein it will take a longer time, to 1 to 3 hours. So that will keep you full. Your body will be busy trying to digest the protein, so will not compared to carbohydrates. Carbohydrates probably is like 1 hour, then you're done with it. Okay, so how much to eat? Basically, this one you can actually go online. You can look for the total daily energy expenditure, put in your profile. You can calculate already how much, and then from there you can see if let's say you want to achieve a deficit, then you do the -3 or -500. So if you are trying to maintain, you maintain whatever you need, okay. So and when we are doing it, normally we encourage you to have a plan. You have a plan. Normally it's a weekly plan or monthly plan. Then you just keep to your plan. So then you can easily achieve it. Okay. And if you're wondering like whether meal skipping is a good way, IF is good way. I have it's up to you. It's up to you. I wouldn't say it's totally bad, but skipping definitely is not great. Try not to skip. The idea is that you have more frequent meals. You can have up to 6 meals a day. I eat four to 5 meals a day. But the thing is that you need to do portion control. You need to do portion control. You distribute your calorie equally over throughout the day. That's how you should be eating, and not just skipping 3 meals and then just hentam kao kao on 1 meal. That's not the way forward. Okay. So cooking method, needless to say, try to keep it simple. Air frying is great. Stir fry is okay. Oven, grill, all these are good methods. But deep frying is not so great. And if let's say you are deep frying and then someone adds sauce, sweet and sour sauce, some more, normally the calorie is extremely high because of the oil. Okay. So this is the last part of my presentation tonight. I think I've gone over time, I think. So which I would say that if you want to maximize your result, then this is the part critically I think you need to reconsider, where you need to couple it with the right supplement. Why am I saying so is because we have been seeing so many throughout my experience. I would say that the right or strategic use of supplementation will actually drive your results, and it will actually help you to do a few things. Because as I said, we want to bulk up your protein intake. Okay, if I ask you to go for a 35% protein intake, say for example, today you are eating this like 2 gram protein per kilogram, and you are 50 kilo or 60 kilo, that means it's between 100 to 120 grams of protein. Just to give you an example, like one piece of chicken thigh probably is going to give you 16 to 20 grams of protein. That means if you want to fulfill that day's requirement, which is 120, means you need to eat at least 6 chicken thigh. So can you do that? A lot of people, they can't really meet it. Okay, from our experience, I mean, I've been coaching many clients and all. It's kind of typical, and this is why the strategic use of protein supplementation is so important, so that it will fill up your the protein gap. At the same time, it's low in calorie, which is great. Okay, and then by doing so with the right supplement like meal replacement and all, it will help you to achieve the calorie deficit easily. And then you have more room to eat proper food, your veg, your fruits, and everything else, which is great. And also we want to also make sure you achieve optimal nutrient intake, meaning to say you don't lose out on the vitamins and minerals, which is so important. Yeah, and eventually what happens is, I think towards the end goal, I think we are all pretty much a result goal driven person. Of course, the process is important, but it's also we want to see outcome, right? So without outcome, it will make you very demotivating. So this is where I think strategic use of supplementation will actually boost or enhance the result. Okay, so basically today I'm going to just talk about 3 or 4 very important ones, which is, I would say, essential. Okay, the first one is of course the protein, the soy protein. So this soy protein, why is it great? Nutrient soy protein is actually one of the best product I ever created. I mean, in terms of protein supplementation. Why am I saying so? For each scoop that you're taking in, it gives you 80% protein, which is super high. And then on top of that is a complete protein, which is what we have been looking for as a nutritionist. Okay, complete protein means that it contains all the essential amino acids that your body needs to build your cell, your cells and everything else. Okay, so and on top of that, the beauty is that there's no added sugar in it. Okay, no sugar at all. It's 100% plant-based, suitable for vegetarian. And each scoop only gives you 40 calories, which is super low. Okay, like just like less than even an apple. So which is super low. And imagine this is protein. Okay, so this is, I would say, must have. And then the second one is the body key meal replacement. Meal replacement, why is it important? Is because normally meal replacement is designed in such a way to make sure that you fulfill all your nutrient needs. So in this product alone, in the body key, we have about 25 vitamins and minerals in it. So this is just to make sure you meet your minimum of the day. And then the rest, of course, you eat from that food. And then the other thing is that it has some fiber in it. It has, it's very low in calorie, which is about 110 plus minus, okay, per pack, per sachet. So that help especially in your breakfast if you're like very in a hurry, on the go and everything. The body key meal replacement is the best way to start your day. And then with this plus your protein, there's the superb combination already. Okay, And then the other thing is the fiber. Why fiber is important is to help you achieve satiety faster. So imagine like today, I ask you to eat like one plate full of vegetables, you cannot finish, you're like chewing until your mulut also like don't feel good, right? So, but then if you cannot eat that much of fiber, then the other way is to have some supplementation. So that will help you to achieve satiety faster as well. And the other thing is that you also improve your bowel movement. So basically in Nutrilite, we have two types of different fiber. One is the chewable fiber, which is our old line of product. And recently, I think we have the new one, which is the mixed fiber powder. What's the difference between the two? Basically, the old type, the mixed fiber chewable tablet, it has two ingredients in it. One is what I call the insoluble fiber, and one is the soluble fiber. Soluble fiber normally is to smoothen the digestion. The insoluble normally is to bulk out your stool. Okay, so that you need two to work synergistically. But for the mixed fiber powder, is more focused on the soluble fiber, which acts as like a lubricant for you, for you to have a smooth passage. So you can use either one of them. There's no right or wrong. It depends on your preference. Okay. But if you look at the fiber powder one, it's one sachet alone has already 4.5 grams, which is almost the requirement for the day already. So great. Yeah. Okay. So the other one is the booster. Booster is like in the event that you want to see faster result, or you want to see a greater outcome, or things like that. What you can do is basically use these two. One is what we call the CB plus. CB plus is actually it acts like a blocker. Okay, it's a blocker for sugars and carbohydrates from being absorbed. Okay, and then each tablet has about the fermented soy and white kidney bean extract. Okay, so that's the CB blocker, and each 3 tablets of that actually help you to block about 500 calories of carbohydrates. How you can use it is basically, if let's say you are having a cheat day, or you are eating out, you have no choice because you know Malaysian food is very high in carbohydrates. That's where you can use the CB plus, okay, to help you to take away some of the carbohydrates that you ingested. The other one, which is going to be a new launching soon, I think 1st June, would be the green tea plus. Okay, the picture that I show you here, green trim, is actually from Singapore. In Malaysia, I think the product is being branded as green tea plus. Okay, it's meant to help you to promote fat loss. Okay, it has this substance from green tea, what we call the EGCG, which is actually will promote fat loss. But this green tea extract, right, basically in most of the time, it's very hard for our body to absorb and utilize. And that's where Nutrilite actually introduced a new technology, what we call the Green Select Phytosoap technology. This technology will actually help to enhance the absorption of this EGCG into your system, so that it will help you to burn, right? So, and the best part is that all this is done without caffeine. It's caffeine free. So if you are having issues with caffeine, worry not, this is a good one for you, right? So in summary, I would say that, I'm sorry to go over time a bit. Remember to have a clear goal, okay? Make sure you have adequate protein intake and a well-balanced diet. Never go on an extremely low calorie. And at the right approach, use supplement strategically. That will help you to move forward. And don't forget to exercise. Of course, I didn't touch much on exercise today, but don't forget that bit as well. It's equally important. All right. Thank you so much for everything. If you have any questions, feel free to put in the chat. We'll extend to you shortly or later on. Thank you. Over to you, MC.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jason, for the lovely sharing. I think we have gained a lot of information, and also at the same time, a lot of myths. I think everyone has been, thinking about weight loss journey. The first thing I think what we can summarize is that don't just be afraid when you're standing up on the weighing scale, because as in a weighing scale, I think there a lot of composition is inside there. So we do see a little bit more on a specific target. So at the end of the day, I think we must know what we want, what journey we are heading to. Either you are on a deficit journey, you are on the gaining journey, or you are on the maintenance journey. This is all a different role and play game. I think before we start, even on what kind of journey, the most important thing is to know what you really want. right? And with this MCO, I think even it's lockdown, this is the best time for you to think, to know what you are doing at home, at the same time to transform yourself before, it's being opened up and we can be our own fabulous self again. While everybody is gaining weight or losing weight, I think you can use this information, bit and pieces of information, for your own benefit in order to achieve your goal. And also, I think at the end of the day, what we can summarize is also protein intake. I think I cannot emphasize enough, right, Jason? Protein intake is actually very, very important. And good carbs, as you can see, a lot of Malaysians, when we think that we want to go on a weight loss journey, we just eliminate the carbs, and it works initially, but towards one point, that's where we stuck. We get frustrated. We find that this is not working at all, and we just hantam kau kau, like just what Jason said, and then at the end of the day it gets back to square one, and that's where you find out what happened, why some people can do it and some people can't. I think in between we must tweak and turn around a bit on our methods, because there's no one single modality that suits for one. Okay, if one method doesn't suit you, you have to take 1-2 steps back to know what you are doing, and then try to get an aim back, and then you go again. I think everything is possible in this manner. If you guys feel that, there's a little bit more information you needed, feel free to contact the person who brought you to this chat group, okay? Then they will kind of direct you at the same time. But what I like about the products as well, it makes it very simple. I was just about to ask Jason, so in a simple words, if you want to do on a calorie deficit, meaning that some meal replacement, what is this about? I think what he has said regarding the Nutrilite, the body key, and a good soy protein. And me, myself, personally, has been taking the soy protein, and I'm an aesthetic doctor, and I'm always very happy with this product. Because why? This is one of the protein who doesn't give me acne. And I can afford to have acne, because sometimes I think outside, when the protein is too high intake and you are dehydrated with different kinds of sauces and so on, I think a lot of my patients come and see me is because during the breakout, they have a lot of acne breakouts either on their face or on their body. So if you have not tried, I urge you to try, because it tastes good and so on. And even though when you want to have your cheat day, there is substance booster for you to actually cheat properly. We have to be smart. When you cheat also, you have to be smart in that case, right, Jason? Yeah. So I think, this is all quite an informative sharing. Thank you so much, Jason, for having us, everything. Thanks to Diamond as well, and all my uplines and everyone. Thank you for sharing and having us together this evening. Since it's a lockdown, I still pray for everyone that, stay safe, please obey your SOP, supplement yourself well, take care of yourself well, and we will see the tunnel right away very soon at the end of the light. Okay, with this, I end this night session. Thank you and have a great evening. Thank you, everyone.